What a win Monday night on Labor Day for the Philadelphia Phillies. A come from behind 10-8 victory over the Milwaukee Brewers. It was honestly felt like the game of the year for the Phillies. Weren't out of it. They were down early, came back, kept fighting, kept battling, overcame some fielding mistakes, some pitching mistakes, some just mistakes overall, and they still came from behind, got that huge 10-8 victory against the best team in Major League Baseball. The Brewers have the best record in Major League Baseball. The Phillies were coming off a tough loss Sunday night at home against the Atlanta Braves on Sunday Night Baseball, bounced right back and earned this huge series opening 10-8 victory over one of the best teams in baseball. Now they're off here on Tuesday before resuming this 3-game series against the Brewers Wednesday. Aaron Nola scheduled to start for the Phillies in that one. And then obviously it closes out Thursday before going to Miami to take on the Marlins right before a huge 4-game showdown against the New York Mets at Citizens Bank Park. But we still got a lot of baseball to play until then. Welcome into Phillies Daily, everybody. I'm your host, Mike Henley. Make sure you guys subscribe for more Phillies content right here on Phillies Daily. Just an absolute tone setter by the Phillies. Again, in that 10-8 victory on Labor Day. Monday night, come from behind win. Brewers, again, had the best, or still have the best record in all of Major League Baseball, not just the National League, in all of Major League Baseball. The Phillies were down early, 4-0 after the first 2 innings of that ball game. And as I said, they just kept battling, kept clawing their way back, and they ended up coming from behind and winning that ball game, as we all know. Now the Phillies did do a lot of their damage between the 4th and the 6th innings. They scored 6 of their 10 runs between those 3 innings. The Brewers ended up tying it up in their half of the 6th inning, 6-6 at the time. And then the Phillies scored 2 runs in the top of the 8th inning. The Brewers scored 2 of their own runs in their half in the bottom of the 8th inning to tie it up yet again, 8-8. And then the Phillies just weren't going away without a fight. They scored 2 more runs in the very next inning in the top of the 9th inning. And then Jhoan Duran came in for the save, and he did just that, picked up the save for the Phillies and earned that 10-8 come from behind victory against the Brewers. A lot better offense for the Phillies than we've seen as of late, and that we've seen really all year long. They've had struggles with runners in scoring position. Yesterday, got the job done there with runners in scoring position. Came up with the clutch and timely hits. They were 5 for 11 with runners in scoring position. Way better than what we've seen out of them really all year long for the majority of these ball games. And really didn't have to use the long ball to win that game, to score those 10 runs. In fact, they only hit 1 home run in that win over the Brewers. Out of those 10 runs, just 1 came off of a home run, and that was a solo shot by Bryce Harper in the 4th inning. So again, the Phillies came up with those clutch hits, timely hits, and it's great to see. Obviously, when you're playing a team like the Brewers, it's going to be tough to win these ball games. These are the types of teams you're going to be playing late in the season, into October, in playoff baseball, and you can't just win one way by hitting home runs. You got to be able to hit home runs. You got to be able to bunt. You got to be able to move guys over from base to base, get into scoring position, come up with those clutch singles, come up with those clutch doubles, triples, whatever it may be, those sacrifice flies, and score those runs than just hitting home runs. And we saw that on full display in that win over the Brewers, a very, very good team there in Milwaukee. It looked a little dicey to start that game. It looked like it was going to be one of those, frustrating losses, those classic Taijuan Walker starts. He was on the mound for the Phillies in that series opener against the Brewers on Monday, and just wasn't his best stuff. Overall, having a very good bounce back and very good solid season for the Phillies, both from the bullpen and obviously right now in the starting rotation. Just not his day against the Brewers on Monday. He only lasted 4 innings. He allowed 7 hits, walked 2 batters, and allowed 5 earned runs in those 4 innings. That he put the Phillies in an early hole. And again, it seemed like it was just going to be one of those games that they ran into a better team and they just couldn't hang with the big boys there in Milwaukee. But shout out to the Phillies bullpen that you had to use 6 relievers after Taijuan Walker exited that game after those 4 innings. 6 relievers, that's a lot. You definitely don't want to be doing that, especially to start a series. Luckily, they do have this weird off day here on Tuesday before picking it back up again on Wednesday to finish off these last 2 games of this series. So get a little extra day rest for these guys that had to pitch. Monday in that win over the Brewers, But shout out to those relievers. Between the 6 of them, they allowed just 3 hits, did have 5 walks at 3 runs. 2 of those 3 runs were earned. They also recorded 5 strikeouts. Again, shout out to them. And really, the only one that struggled, really, some of the guys had a little bit of scary moments, but really the only one that struggled was David Robertson, the 40-year-old. Very good for the Phillies since they picked him up not too long ago for his 3rd stint here with the team. But yesterday, not his day against the Brewers. He came in. The Phillies had an 8-6 lead at the time. He recorded the first 2 outs of that 8th inning with that 2-run lead via the strikeout. Looked like all was good in the world. The Phillies were going to get through that, get into the 9th inning, trying to win that game right there, and then with that 8-6 lead. But David Robertson, after those 2 strikeouts, allowed a walk, a single, and then another walk to load the bases with 2 outs. And then he allowed a game-tying 2 RBI single, tied the game up 8-8. Luckily, the Phillies did score 2 runs there in the 9th inning, in the top of the 9th inning, and then Duran closed it, shut the door on the Brewers offense, and picked up that 10-8 victory. But out of those 3 hits and 5 walks and 3 runs, David Robertson, a lot of that's charged to him. He allowed that 1 single, or actually allowed 2 of those 3 hits. He allowed both earned runs, and he allowed 2 of those 5 walks in just that 1 inning there in the 8th. Not his day, but overall, a good performance, a good outing, good showing by this Phillies bullpen that obviously has been a weakness all of 2025. Again, you don't like to see your starter only go 4 innings, but they stepped up, they got the job done for the most part, and helped the Phillies get that big 10-8 victory over a very good Milwaukee Brewers team. They can also thank Brandon Marsh in large part for that win as well. Had a tremendous day against the Brewers in that win. He's been red hot as of late for the Phillies, really all season long for the Phillies as well. May not seem like it. A lot of people were hating on him earlier in the season. He did have a rough stretch there. Very inconsistent. I wanted him gone. A lot of fans wanted him gone. They were done with him. Obviously didn't have a great year last year either. Hasn't really been able to take a stranglehold of an everyday starting outfielder for the Phillies. Like when they traded for him a few years ago from the Los Angeles Angels. They thought he could be a future piece there in the outfield. He still can be, still young enough, and he's definitely showing that he can be here as of late for the Phillies these last couple months. Brandon Marsh was 4 for 5. He hit the go-ahead RBI single in the 9th inning for the Phillies, and that win over the Brewers yesterday on Monday. Made it a 9-8 game. They obviously scored an extra insurance run to win that 10-8 there in the 9th. But Brandon Marsh with the go-ahead RBI single, 4 hits. Now, I did mention he was pretty bad earlier in the season. In fact, he was hitless in 29 at-bats in the month of April. Again, a lot of fans were done with him, wanted him gone, wanted him out of the Phillies outfield. And now here he is, one of their best hitters as of late, and playing really good overall. He plays good defense. He's got some speed, and obviously getting the job done at the plate offensively for the Phillies. He had a .298 batting average in May, .324 batting average in June, a .271 average in July, and then a .284 average in August. So again, very good really since May. He really had that one bad month where he was hitless in April, and ever since he's been hitting pretty well and consistently for the Phillies, and now he's getting more playing time, improving even so with all that playing time that he can keep coming up with these big games, these big performances at the plate. He now has a .275 batting average here in 2025 with 27 extra base hits. His career high batting average for his season was .277 back in 2023. So he's honestly having a career year. Obviously, RBIs are a little low, home runs, all that stuff, but still, he is getting hits, and he's really doing a great job for the Phillies. And they definitely needed it because the outfield has been a weakness as well, like the bullpen, really all season long. But Brandon Marsh doing good, as is Harrison Bader, the veteran outfielder the Phillies got from the Minnesota Twins in the separate trade at the trade deadline. Obviously, they got Joan Duran in one trade, Harrison Bader in another, and he's been red hot as well and starting to cause some controversy here, how the Phillies should handle their outfield situation in this final month of September and going into the playoffs in October. Again, Brandon Marsh, red hot. He's batting .526 in his last 5 games, including yesterday's 4-hit performance against the Brewers. Harrison Bader has also been red hot. He has a .313 batting average with 9 extra base hits since being traded from the Twins to the Phillies in 26 games with the Phillies. Again, .313 batting average. He also had a very good game in that series opener against the Brewers. He was 3 for 5 with 3 RBIs in that 10-8 victory. He had an RBI double back in the 6th inning. In that 6th inning rally, made it a 1-run game. The Brewers still had a 1-run lead at the time. The Phillies ended up taking the lead in that inning 6-5. Harrison Bader also had a go-ahead RBI double in the 8th inning. Obviously gave the Phillies the lead there. Brewers tied it up. Again, tie game going into the 9th inning. And then Harrison Bader again hit an RBI single in the 9th inning to give the Phillies a 2-run lead, an extra insurance run after Brandon Marsh hit that RBI go-ahead single. And that's all the Phillies needed. That's all Joan Duran needed to pick up the save and get that big win over the Brewers. Now, I'm saying that's causing a little bit of controversy because we all know Nick Castellanos has been in headlines as of late. He's been struggling at the plate, not playing every day anymore, not getting the playing time he wants. He's frustrated. He's showing it. But when other guys are hot, you got to stick with them. Right now, Brandon Marsh and Harrison Bader are hot. They deserve to be in it. We all know Max Kepler has been a failed experiment as well. But even he has had some clutch hits as of late too. So, Nick Castellanos is not proving that he should be out there every day, especially in this final push, trying to win this division over the Mets, trying to get one of these top seeds in the National League. They have the second best record right now. They're behind the Brewers in the National League. They're obviously in first in the NL East, but the Mets are still right there on their tails. And Nick Castellanos just not getting the job done when he's on the field. Now, he was having a very solid season through June going into July. One of the Phillies' best and most consistent hitters all year long leading up to that point, and then just fell off a cliff. I don't know what happened to him, but he has been ice cold since then, since really the beginning of July. He batted .207 in the month of July and then .180 in the month of August. Obviously, he did not play in Monday's win over the Brewers, sat out that game, out of the lineup, and what happens moving forward, we don't know. He hasn't been in the lineup every game like he usually is lately. It's tough to know. We all know what Nick Castellanos can do. We have all seen him. He's been an all-star. He's been proven to be a very good hitter at the major league level for a very long time. We've seen it both in his Phillies career before he joined the Phillies. But right now, these last 2 months, going into this final month of September, just not good at the plate for Nick Castellanos. He needs to figure things out. He needs to turn things around, or else he's going to lose a lot of playing time down here in this final stretch. Hopefully he can figure things out, because when he's going good, at least when he's being a consistent hitter, this Phillies lineup is so much better, and they definitely need his veteran presence, his clutch ability, his pop, his power there in the middle of the lineup in October, trying to win a World Series championship. We'll see what happens again, but right now, definitely Brandon Marsh and Harrison Bader deserve all the playing time in the world. They are red hot, and Rob Thompson, the Phillies manager, would be crazy not to keep continuing to give them at-bats, keep continuing to have their names in the lineups day in and day out. Thank you guys for watching this episode of Phillies Daily. I'm your host, Mike Henley. Make sure you guys like, comment, share, and subscribe for more Phillies content right here on Phillies Daily. Off day here on Tuesday. Big series opening win Monday against the Brewers. Aaron Nola on the mound Wednesday to resume this 3-game series. Hopefully they can win that one. Already get the series victory heading into Thursday's series finale. We'll see what happens. Again, thank you guys for watching. And as always, go Phils.